Tonight marks the first of 6 election specials, keeping you informed in the days leading up to November 8th.
Yeah, there's now just 8 days until the polls open nationwide on what has been a historic and unprecedented campaign season. So join us every weeknight at 6:30 for an in-depth look at the election issues and candidates that matter to you.
Good afternoon. After about 18 months of campaigning, fundraising, and advertising, Election Day is finally here. Today, Americans will decide who our 45th president will be and who will control the U.S. Congress, while Wisconsin voters also will determine who controls our state legislature.
And here in Wisconsin, about 3 million people are expected to cast a ballot. Many have already done so. We saw record amounts of absentee voting this season.
Here in Wisconsin, voters have been making their way out to the polls since early this morning.
Polling places still quite busy and likely to be so until they close tonight. Nolan Blair starts our team coverage from Appleton tonight. He's outside a polling place there. Nolan.
Bill and Cammie, I am in Appleton's ninth district. That is at St. Bernard's Catholic Church. Now, if you look over here, you can actually see the line is now going out the door. Picked up quite a bit since I was here with you guys at 4 o'clock. But in the Fox Valley, there were a couple issues earlier today. We did learn that some ballots in Oshkosh were filled in with a pen that bled through ballots between 7 and 8 o'clock this morning. The Oshkosh clerk says those ballots were remade and won't affect the vote. In Fond du Lac County, some absentee ballots were mailed in, were creased in a way that caused the uncontested district attorney race to register as overvoted.
Win his U.S. Senate seat back from Republican Senator Ron Johnson tonight. The race is a statistical dead heat, according to the latest Marquette University Law School poll. Jason Zimmerman joins us now live from Oshkosh with more from Johnson's event headquarters tonight. Jason.
Bill, supporters of Senator Ron Johnson are expected to start showing up here at the Oshkosh Convention Center soon. This is the stage right behind me where the senator will speak to his supporters later tonight. For more on the Feingold campaign, we go to Emily Matesic, who's live in Middleton. Emily.
Thanks a lot, Jason. In a little less than 2 hours, when the polls close here in Wisconsin, that's when we expect to see Russ Feingold supporters filling this ballroom.
We are also closely following the 8th congressional district race tonight. Republican newcomer Mike Gallagher running against Democratic Outagamie County Executive Tom Nelson. Andrea Hay is in Howard with Mike Gallagher's campaign as they wait for those ballots to come in later tonight. Andrea.
Hey, Cammie, we are still about an hour out from the watch party that begins here at 7:30. And his opponent, Democrat Tom Nelson, is in Appleton tonight. That's where our own Aisha Morales joins us now live. Hey, Aisha.
Well, thank you, Andrea. We're inside of Stone Cellar in Appleton. This is where Tom Nelson and his supporters will be watching the numbers as they come down tonight.
Folks, we're about a half an hour now from polls closing across the state of Wisconsin. And as always, as long as you are in line at 8 o'clock, you will be able to cast a ballot. Nolan Blair's been monitoring polling places in the Fox Valley for us today. He joins us now from Appleton, where it's been a pretty smooth day for the folks here. Nolan?
I'm here at District 9 in Appleton at St. Bernard's Catholic Church. It's busy right now. Now, if you look right over here, you can see a couple people are voting, but if we take a walk over this direction, it gets even busier. You can see people are busy right now registering, and the clerks have told me that that's been the most time-consuming part of the day.
And good evening. Thanks for joining us online. This is an Action 2 News Election Night streaming special.
We've never done this before, folks, so bear with us because this is kind of all new to us. And for the next couple of hours, we're going to act as a complement to the ABC News political coverage. We'll bring you some results and analysis of the local races that matter to you. But like I said, we haven't done this type of format before, so this is a little new for us.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah,
it's also 8 o'clock, and that means the polls are now closed in Wisconsin. Plenty of other states, and we would expect results to start coming in really any minute now.
That's right. And because we're doing this online, we're able to do a lot of different things, and we're able to use our reporters who are standing by live for the results anyway. We kind of bring them in before the 10 o'clock newscast. We'll be following a lot of these top races throughout the entire night. Now, what we did, what was kind of interesting, took part in this exit polling. And we just got some of these numbers. So and you just got the same things that I got. We're talking about, we asked people specifically what drove them to vote, what they were looking for when they voted for a candidate, and we were looking at the qualities. The biggest quality, 42% people said they want someone who represents change. People want change. So what does that say to you?
Well, that should be something that would advantage Donald Trump in his race here in Wisconsin. Now, these exit poll results are only Wisconsin exit poll results.
Come in. We'll send it back over to Jeff, and he has a Democrat and Republican on either side of him to talk. Jeff.
And they're smiling and they're getting along tonight, Cammie. Can you believe it? Hey, time to get some partisan reaction tonight as the results are unfolding. And for that, we bring in Republican Rich Heidel. He's the Village of Hobart president, and Democrat Deb Stover, who's with the Democratic Party of Brown County. Welcome. And I guess for both of you, we'll start with you, Deb. Can you believe it's election night? It's finally here after 18 months. Time now to go to Jim Osman. He's with the Clinton campaign. He's our national correspondent. We're going to check in with him right now. Jim.
Good evening. You know, the mood is subdued here at Clinton headquarters tonight. I had a text message from a Democratic source high up in a Democratic organization that said things don't look all that great, and they don't at this point. I think the worries are your state, Wisconsin, and Michigan.
Time now again to turn to the presidential race and Republican Donald Trump's campaign, awaiting results in New York. National correspondent Mark Meredith is standing by live with more from Trump headquarters. Hi, Mark.
Hey, Jeff, good evening to you. We've been still watching these results come in like the rest of people across Wisconsin and around the world. But where we are here in Trump headquarters at the Hilton Hotel in Midtown Manhattan, the crowd has grown by a large margin. And that's, of course, because as the margins have votes continue to come in, we are getting a better idea of how this night is playing out.
We're starting to get some winners declared here in Wisconsin. You can see the races along the bottom of your screen, though. We'll begin with the 6th congressional race, where we see with 48% of the vote, Glenn Grothman has been declared the winner over Sarah Lloyd and Jeff Dahlke. He was pretty handily winning that race. Wisconsin's 1st congressional district, represented by Paul Ryan, also been called already tonight. The country's top elected Republican will keep his seat in Congress with more than...
I finished this campaign more determined than ever to make Northeast Wisconsin and our entire state a better place to live, work, and raise a family. Because you see, that is what public service is all about. Making lives better by putting people.
Okay, you've been listening to Tom Nelson with a concession speech tonight in that 8th congressional district race against Mike Gallagher. Mike Gallagher being called the winner now. Andrea Hay is with the Gallagher campaign, and let's join Andrea right now. Any reaction as Tom Nelson's made his concession speech, Andrea?
Hi, Jeff. Yeah, we are just actually hearing the reaction from people who learned that Mike Gallagher has won.
It's been a great night for the Republican Party.
Thanks, Dave. Representative Dave Murphy from the town of Greenville, a Republican. Again, we're told that Johnson is expected to speak shortly, addressing this crowd here in Oshkosh. In the meantime, let's go to Russ Feingold's campaign headquarters in Middleton. That's where Emily Mistesic is standing by live. Emily?
Thanks a lot, Jason. A large crowd here in Middleton at the Marriott at Russ Feingold's party. Several hundred people are here.
Another race we've been following, the 18th state Senate race. A Republican there has won the seat as well.
Take a look at the numbers from that race, where we have Dan Fine beating Mark Harris right there. The numbers with 93% of the vote in. We have Dan Fine with 56% of the vote compared to Mark Harris. Brittany Schmidt is standing by live from the Republican Watch Party in Fond du Lac with some reaction from that camp. Brittany.
Cammie, as you can imagine, it was all smiles here as the word spread throughout the room that Dan Fine had won. And he joins us now live. First of all, congratulations on your win. But tell me, how did you get the work done? You said you went door to door for how many months?
Well, thank you for the congratulations. Yeah, we did go door to door. We talked to 23,000 people at the doors since August 15th, my team and I.
Thank you very much, Brittany. We're going to go back to the 8th congressional district. Mike Gallagher has now taken the podium as he celebrates his win in that race. Let's listen in.
You know, a few weeks ago, the Secretary of the Navy honored Reed with the Distinguished Service Medal. This is actually the highest civilian honor that you can accrue. Well deserved.
Gallagher speaking about his win in the 8th congressional district, and he beat Tom Nelson, who
had a hard-fought race, a lot of money spent in that race.
No doubt. Outagamie County Executive down there is in Appleton, and Aisha Morales is with Tom Nelson right now. Let's hear his remarks. Aisha and Tom.
Hey, yes, we just got off the stage right now from doing his concession speech, but he's here with me now, kind of reflecting now. You were watching the results come in. What were you thinking at that time?
Well, it wasn't the election night that we were hoping for, but the results are such, and so I had a chance to call Mr. Gallagher earlier this evening to congratulate him on his win and to wish him well.
There's some breaking news into our newsroom just moments ago. The Associated Press has called the race in the U.S. Senate race for Ron Johnson over Russ Feingold. So Ron Johnson's going to maintain his spot in the U.S. Senate for another 6-year term, which he has promised will be his last term in Senate. Here now, as we switch to the 6th District congressional race, which encompasses much of the southern part of our viewing area. Republican Glenn Grothman is reelected to a second term. Here's what they had to say about tonight's results.
It was a clean campaign. It's why you see so many campaigns on TV, nasty, dirty. We ran a clean campaign all the way.
Want to win this seat because we want to make sure that our message of building a strong economy that works for everyone is going to go across the district, and that we can take that to Washington.
The State House Speaker Paul Ryan has won re-election, not surprising at all. He beat out Democratic challenger Paul Solon. Right now, let's listen to what Paul Ryan had to say about his victory tonight.
I am so eager to get back to work for you, to get on with fixing our country's problems. We have so much potential in this country, so much potential. And if we can just tap it, that's what's ahead of us.
You're just listening to Paul Ryan talking about his victory tonight. But let's go back to the Ron Johnson and Russ Feingold race. If we can throw those numbers back up on the screen for you, and we can see that Ron Johnson had 52% of the vote to Russ Feingold's 45% of the vote. This was polling within a point, well within the margin of error, just as recent as last week. So this is kind of a surprising number to me. Would it be a surprising number to you?
Well, we don't have the final results in. That race might narrow a little bit.
But we do understand that Ron Johnson is down in Oshkosh, and we want to go down live there now. Is that where we're heading to? And he is speaking live. Let's listen in.
Jane has just been a rock. She's been so supportive. Jane's a patriot, and I could not have done this without Jane. I want to thank my kids.
And we have some breaking news, at least with the latest on the presidential race. Multiple news outlets now reporting that Donald Trump has won Wisconsin, Iowa, and Florida. That's Wisconsin, Iowa, and Florida for Donald Trump. And right now we are with a panel of partisan experts, I guess, or supporters of their party. Deb Stover, Democratic Party of Brown County, Rich Heidel, Republican, Village of Hobart president. And boy, this, I guess your thoughts on this race tonight. Let's start with the race for president. Surprised?
I'm not. And it's easy for me to say at this point.
Before we head back to ABC's Your Voice, Your Vote coverage, we want to show you the latest numbers for the presidential race here in Wisconsin. Donald Trump with a slight edge, over Hillary Clinton. 74% of the vote in for right now, and statewide it's Donald Trump with 49%, 46% for Hillary Clinton.
That's right. If he wins Wisconsin, his path to the White House is very possible. ABC News will have much more on that. That's coming up right after this. And tomorrow morning on Action 2 News this morning, we'll have more reaction from both the presidential election and those local races we've been covering in this area. It's been a busy night, so please tune in for that.